Support for today's episode of Getting Grown comes from Form Beauty. Form is the very first women's prestige hair care collection to celebrate beauty in all its forms. Even mine. It's designed for all hair textures and it's made specifically for those of us queens who can't seem to figure out just what our strands need to thrive in these streets. And the best part is, you don't even have to move your car, sis. They will ship your product straight to the house. So head to formbeauty.com/grown to take the Form consultation and receive your hair care regimen today. Use our link and get 10% off your order. Cause we got you. That's Form, FORM, beauty.com/grown. Now, let's get to the show.
Hello, hello, hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, 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 hey, hello, hello. No?
No.
You don't?
I don't remember. What is that?
That's Erica.
Oh, it is.
Mother do.
What's
going on, sis?
Oh, child. I'm doing all right. Can't complain. How you doing?
I'm all right. Welcome back to another episode of Getting Grown with Jade and Keia.
You better sing it. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of our folly and foolishness as we try to figure out adulthood, fumbling all the way. Yeah, everybody doing all right this week. I hope everyone's doing well. Shout out to everyone who listened to last week's episode. We've gotten such great and positive feedback from us talking about our mamas and how we're turning into them.
We definitely have. So many of you all have tweeted us, emailed us, messaged us on Facebook. We saw all of you, and we're glad that, you know, the episode was able to resonate with you a little bit. We'll definitely try to pick up that discussion maybe at a later time because it seemed like there's so much more.
Yeah, man. And we're going to continue to turn into our mamas and learn new ways that we are transforming. So I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about in the future. Yeah. And shout out to even those people who reached out to us and let us know that they lost their moms at early ages, or they, are struggling with strained relationships with their moms. You know, and we're glad that you were able to listen to the episode and still find something to connect to in listening to it. So shout out to y'all as well. Thanks for listening. And what we want to talk about this week, sis? Lots of foolishness on the internet. So much
foolishness on the internet. And also, we're going to slide from that into how we can manage our stress, because there is a fellow Black woman in the streets. I would say debatable, but it's not. Who is dealing with a lot of stress right now.
I'm not sure where you're going, but I'm going to just follow along.
Tiny. Poor Tiny.
Is it poor Tiny?
It's really not. It's really not. It's really not poor Tiny, because Tiny has made poor decisions.
I'm not feeling poor Tiny at all. Nothing about me is feeling sorry.
Not really.
For Tamika. I don't feel sorry for Tamika.
Not really. Not really. I did initially, but then we'll get to it. I felt bad for her at first, and then it went away because she just wiped it all away clean. So T.I. I'm sure we all have seen T.I.'s birthday message. His heartfelt, and I say heartfelt because he sincerely meant the bullshit that he said.
Lord Jesus.
To his wife, his estranged wife, Tamika Cottle Harris. So what we're going to do is we are going to read T.I.'s problematic Instagram post.
Help us, God.
And we're just going to dissect it a bit.
So we've been asked, the Twitter asked me, because I read it just a few days ago and I reacted on my timeline, and one of our listeners, actually several of our listeners, asked that we discuss it on the show. I'm not really sure what there is to say about it, but we are trying to please the people. So sis, do you want to read this garbage or do you want me to read it?
I'll read it. It's okay. Happy G-Day to my beautiful, lovely, little loudmouth, argumentative, know-it-all, shit-kicking, cap-ass Southside partner.
My God.
Did I say that right? Yeah.
What the hell?
At Major Girl. As a couple, no punctuation. As a couple, we've experienced some of the greatest moments in our lives together and burnt a hole in a bunch of big bags of money in some of the most beautiful, comma used incorrectly, in some of the most beautiful places in the world. And while I may have fucked up and still have so many more fuck ups in me on so many levels,
my God.
comma, another comma used in an inappropriate place. One thing that another one used in another inappropriate place that's never going to change is how I consider you, in ellipses with one too many dots and a space.
4 dots.
And a space and a capital. You are, comma, using the wrong space.
Have
been always in the wrong space. Also in a space. And always be one of the best friends that I have in the world. We've done just about all there is to do. Another comma, no space. Good and bad. I remember for a long time we couldn't even spend a day apart from one another. We were so emotionally connected. Then we were forced to, quote unquote, do time. You did time. There's no quote unquote. Like you actually did it. Apart, back to back. That shit sucked, huh? Should have used the comma after the sucked.
But
then we pop back.
Okay, you're actually doing a great job of catching all of these errors. You are missing a couple. But
there's so many.
I will continue to let you go ahead and read this. Go ahead. Yeah.
Then we pop back up on their ass and show the world how cool raising kids could be on Family Hustle. While they may have put a few million more people than we'd like in our personal intimate business, you did that. It also became an example for so many who didn't have one in the areas of parenting, family, and marriage and hip hop. That's some real stand up shit to be proud of. We have 7 amazing kids who all have enough skills, smarts, talent, and ability to take care of us in our old age. Now that's awesome. And while most of these nosy, no business having, overly opinionated, fake Karen ass people would see it as a breakup, I see it differently. In my eyes, we didn't break up. We evolved into something unconditional. A relationship that supersedes fidelity.
What? Say that one more time. Say that one more time, please.
Let me say it for the people. A relationship that supersedes fidelity. Physical presence or any other disagreement we may have faced. What we have is stronger than the bullshit, and for that I'm thankful. We've taught each other things that allow us to continue to raise hell and kick shit for many moons. Keep pressing your line and polishing your shine, Mrs. H.
Wow.
Enjoy this day. That's a celebration of the day the Lord gave us you.
Fascinating.
Kick big shit for that. With eternal love, respect, no comma, and admiration. Tip, Big Daddy, King Senior, Mr. Harris. Hashtag happy birthday, Mrs. H.
Woo! I am overwhelmed. I'm exhausted.
Before we talk about it, can you read her response?
I will do my best to do that. Okay. Tiny responds, "Oh, Big Daddy, can't do nothing but say I will always love you forever and a day!" Exclamation point. Always said you, the letter, not the word, were the man to make all my dreams come true. My one of a kind king/partner, LOL, ... Not ... just 2 dots. All right.
2.
I'll let you slide this time with that one. 2 exclamation points. Anywho. Thanks for capital everything.
Not all caps, just the E.
Just the capital E everything, especially those 7 kids, ... Now show up and show out like I know you to do, exclamation point. She left another comment after that said, "You still my king, Mr. Harris. They should all know that," with some emojis in there.
Winky, smiley, tongue face.
Whew, Lord have mercy.
So this is some bullshit because... All right.
Whew, Lord have mercy.
First line. Happy GJ to my.
Okay.
I guess she's still your wife.
No. He didn't say wife. He said beautiful, lovely, little loudmouth, argumentative, know-it-all, shit-kicking, cap-ass Southside partner. That's that. He did not say wife.
He friend-zoned his wife, but then he called her my.
Well, possession. This is possessive.
Contradiction.
All right. So as a couple, we've experienced some of our greatest moments in our lives, some of the greatest moments in our lives together, and burnt a hole in a whole bunch of big bags of money in some of the most beautiful places of the world. You can't deny that they have.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And while I say I may have fucked up and still have so many more fuck ups in me, well, that right there.
I don't understand when you literally just, I mean, I feel like his latest diary of the fingertips, in which he decided that he was going to tell us that his marriage was a distraction.
Well, you know, I don't disagree with the fact that he has many more fuck ups in him. That's on many levels. This is actually the truest and most accurate portion of the comments that he made entirely. Okay. He said that he has fucked up and he's not finished fucking up. That is not one lie. I don't see one lie right there, because evidently he's warning us that this is the stupid is yet to come, and that has turned out to be very true. So I don't have a problem with this.
All right. All right.
One thing that's never going to change is how I consider you.
Debatable.
Which is an interesting choice of words, but fine. You are, comma, have been, comma, and always will be one of the best friends I have in the world.
Friend zone.
I remember for a long time, we couldn't even spend a day apart. Now, is it a part or apart? Because, you know, there's the word apart, right?
We got to read between the lines. See, that it was a part because he was playing a part.
Okay.
He was playing a role.
Feel
me.
You have better.
I speak nigga.
You better translate this nigga ease. I'm into it. You better go ahead.
I got all your sign language.
All right. We appreciate you. We need you, apparently, because I don't understand any of this.
I'm fluent in NSL. Anyway.
Okay. So, okay. Where I lost my place. Been apart from one another, we were so emotionally connected. Then we were forced to, quote, do time apart.
You did time.
Back to back. So they did. So this is the thing. The apart here suggests, A-part, A-P-A-R-T suggests that the two parts are separated by distance, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they're separated by a distance at a specified difference from each other in time or in space. So he's saying that they did time apart. Right? Back to back.
Yes.
So is it apart or is it back to back? Are you talking about time? Okay. Somebody just help me understand. Okay. But you know, right. Words do mean things. You know, y'all just be out here arbitrarily using them all willy-nilly, but it's fine. You know, I just need clarity.
T.I. uses a lot because it makes it feel good.
Too many excessive words. You know, especially you should not. The responsibility that we have as people who use words is that we should know how to use them. We should know what they mean. Yeah. But, you know, that's neither here nor there, apparently, for Mr. Harris. So, then we popped back up on their ass and showed the world how cool raising kids could be on Family Hustle.
All right. I agree.
Fine. You know, because I watched the show. I'm a big fan of Major. Major is my favorite Harris.
Major is my homeboy.
You know, I tried to I agree that we needed more examples of actual real life families on television. And I appreciated the fact that through the Family Hustle, we were able to see a real family navigating real family things. It was not about, you know, and although they are celebrities, they were still a very grounded, relatable family that we could all, you know, get in, you know, we could all watch and be entertained by. So I did enjoy the Family Hustle.
We watched it as a family.
We did. I liked how, you know, T.I. always spent time with each one of his kids. Each one of his kids got time on camera. It was never any, you know, breakaway stars. You know, I thought it was nicely done. So this is why, because of my love and appreciation for the Family Hustle, this is why these comments are so hurtful and just discouraging to me. But while that may have put a few million more people than we'd like in our personal intimate business, it also became an example for so many who didn't have one in the areas of parenting, family, and marriage in hip hop. Right. All fair. I do not dispute that.
All right.
That's some Amazing, real stand-up shit to be proud of. Agreed. We have 7 amazing kids who all have enough skills, smarts, talent, and ability to take care of us in our old age. All fair.
Yes.
Now that's awesome. True indeed it is.
Yes.
While most of now this is when I start to get upset. While most of these nosy, no business having, overly opinionated, fake, Karen ass people would see it as a breakup.
You told your wife she was a distraction.
And you told her on national television. This is my problem. There's always people who literally publicize and promote their business and then get upset when we talk about it. You signed a contract with VH1 so that we would watch your business. You asked us to watch it. You invited us to watch it. You would get on Instagram and tell us to watch A Family Hustle on VH1 on Monday nights at 9. We watched it.
The opening song, whatever the shit is called, all the kids, we literally saw your bed. We literally watched your family climb in your bed. We literally watched Tiny put her little leg over your little leg, in the opening segment of the show.
But now we nosy and no business having, and because we have opinions about the business that you showed us, we have, we fake Karen ass people. And although you actually said, I do not want to be married, my marriage is actually a burden and a hindrance to me realizing my optimal purpose and potential. You said that. Mm-hmm. You said that. And because we feel a way about it, we wrong, not you.
I'd like to point out the fact that T.I. and Tiny have been together as long as we have known about T.I. and Tiny. And I would like to say that T.I. has put out I'm Serious, Trap Music, Urban Legend, King, T.I. versus T.I.P., Paper Trail, No Mercy, Trouble Man, and Paperwork, all while being married to Tiny. I would also like to point out the fact that T.I. has subjected us to his acting in ATL, American Gangster Takers, Identity Thief, House of Lies, Get Hard, Entourage, Ant-Man, Roots, Pop Star, Never Stop Stopping, Sleepless, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, all while he was married to Tiny. I would like to point out the fact that I know a number of T.I. songs. Mm-hmm. And the entire time he was married to Tiny.
Listen, I mean...
That's a hell of a distraction
Okay, so we could just go there. It's an issue for me that he can say... Okay, well, let me just keep reading. It says, in my eyes, we didn't break up. We evolved into something unconditional. So what evolved if y'all broke up? I mean, what? So you don't have a relationship. Okay, he said a relationship that supersedes fidelity. Now, I know what words mean. Not all of them, but I know what some words mean. I know what it means to supersede something, and I know what fidelity means.
Right? And I know they don't go together.
I just feel some sort of way because I feel like he's saying that the relationship itself actually replaces and overrides fidelity. But if you being loyalty to what? If you're not being loyal to the relationship, is it me? Am I crazy? Because I just feel like if you, your relationship, loyalty, it supersedes fidelity and it supersedes physical presence. That's what he said, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to figure out, y'all so together, y'all don't have to be together.
That's it.
Y'all so together, y'all could be apart.
Speak, nigga.
Is that what's happening?
That's exactly that's what he's saying, sis. He's saying our relationship
so we can be apart and still be together.
That's it.
Fascinating. That's fascinating.
Let me tell you something. We can still be divorced and you still Mrs. H.
That's dumb as hell. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't understand anything like that. And it's irresponsible. And what troubles me the most is that Tiny and them old foolish eyeballs she got in her face.
Foolish.
Going to sit around and this man told her, I'm going to give you this car. I really dig you. You like my best friend forever. But as far as actually doing right by you, I can't fade it. Right? I'm not interested in doing that. Listen, me actually being with you and doing right by you is holding me back. All that I'm supposed to be. So I'm just going to let you do you and I'm going to do me, but you can still be my wife.
Yeah.
Whatever. And this to that, she responds and still calls this nigga my king.
My king.
My king. So king also has meaning. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like king means like dominion. It means authority. It means rule. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if you subscribe to, you know, biblical definitions of what it means to be a husband and the husband as the leader of the household, okay. All right. Then king might be appropriate for you. But if this nigga says, I don't even like you enough to actually cherish you and treat you like you are my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are a distraction from actually the stuff that I really want to be doing. I really dig you. You know, we friends and everything, and I love you. And if somebody talk bad about you on the internet, I'm gonna ride for you. But as far as, you know, as far as me not having you out here looking stupid, you know what I'm saying? As far as me not out here having you looking stupid on the internet, I actually feel like that's going to be a strain on me. But to that, she says, I'll still allow you to be my king.
Yeah,
and
my king.
I just, as someone who is a father to daughters, I just wonder, I wonder how then can you, like, what was his expectation be? If some nigga said to Deja, his daughter, or Eris Harris, his other daughter, which I'll just let that sit with you for a second.
Because he has
exactly
been standing.
Neek Neek. If some nigga was to say to Neek Neek, I don't, you know, we cool. You my nigga for real, for real. But as far as me actually being willing to keep my penis outside of other bitches.
It's way too much for me.
I can't, you know, it's a lot for me to take on that responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I just want
to be upfront about
so
my shit.
I'm just going to let you know up front that I'm never going to tell you the truth when it comes to that. And I'm not going to be able to commit to you, you know, but I'm telling you, so we're good, right?
Right.
And I still want you to let me be you know what I'm saying, do what I want, to do what I want, to have free reign, to be your king and have free reign in your life, in your body.
I want to be your leader.
Your pockets. I want to lead you. I want to be in control over you. I want to be an authority over you as your king.
Let me tell you something. Niggas are so selfish. They're so selfish. I remember when I was 8, another age.
Whoa.
And
all right.
I actually was not 18.
Okay. Ooh.
I was.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. I dated this nigga, right? Who wanted me to move to the islands and, you know, really just wanted to wife me up at a super young age. And bought me dog tags. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
And was like, yeah, I bought these for you. And, you know, I want you to have them when I go back to the Bahamas and blah, 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 blah. My parents saw those dog tags and were pissed.
As like, they very well should be, sis.
What is this?
As they very well should
because I am nobody's property.
Are you kidding me?
You know what I'm saying?
That nigga put the dog tag on you.
Nobody's property. And, you know, here I am stupid. I was 17, actually. Stupid 17. Like, oh, this is cute. You know what I'm saying? That's not cute. Advice to your 20-year-old self. That's not cute. That shit is not cute. So, Tamika, that shit is not cute. And I'm not just talking about your ridiculous ass eyes. Because that shit is not cute. That shit, like that response, King Senior, Big Daddy.
Makes me sad because on her own, by her own rights, her own merits, her own talent, her own money.
On her own.
Sing, Patty. Her own resources. Tamika is a force. And she was a force.
Again.
Girl, you got one more time. She was a force before T.I. and his rubber bands came around. You know what I'm saying?
Wild as the Taliban.
Wild as the Taliban. 9 on the front.
Literally 9 in his right and a 45 in his other hand. That's the problem. He told you it was a prophecy. He told you what was coming. And he told you ahead of time. He said, hey girl, 9 in my right, 45 in my other hand. And you know what she did? She still kept riding for him. And her ass caught a case for him. A case. Popped out babies for this nigga. And you are a distraction.
But wait, I'm saying that it makes me sad that Tiny, as a businesswoman, as a woman, is successful outside of her relationship to her husband, right? Yes. I feel like, and I'm not even mad. Like if he was doing right by her as a husband, I wouldn't be mad at all about the whole "my king" comment. But I feel like with titles come responsibility. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That nigga has not been, and has, as in the public eye, he has been irresponsible with her and made her look stupid on several occasions. And it makes me sad that she would negate all of the work that she's done on her own by her own rights and still call this nigga my king. Like, he don't get to be your king no more, sis.
He doesn't deserve that.
He don't deserve. And it's irresponsible to me because, you know, not only are Tiny and T.I.'s daughters watching, but all the daughters of America are watching. And it just makes me sad that women still, you know, will at their own expense chase a nigga. And I'm not anti-nigga. I'm not anti-relationship. I'm not anti-husband. I'm not anti any of that. This is not about feminism. This is more about, like, you know, respect and words meaning things, and just like, don't be with people that don't even acknowledge you and don't value who you are and what you bring to the table.
That's it.
Don't have me out here looking stupid.
Don't have me out here.
We had a whole episode about deal breakers, but the bottom line deal breaker is whatever you do that will have me out here looking the ass. That's a deal breaker. Like, that's it. That's it. Don't have me out here looking stupid for people watching. And I mean, it's just like young girls out here thinking that they have to compromise themselves and compromise their purpose, what they bring to the table, all their shine, all their talent, all their skills, and tolerate being treated less than by a nigga.
And you're not a young girl. You got daughters. Your daughters are young girls. Like, you got a young lady, a young woman that you're raising right now. Like, this girl is out on her own, but you're still an example to her. You have Deja, who, yes, that's T.I.'s daughter, but you guys raise all your kids together. You got Harris. Thank God that her parents are well off and rich, and she will never have the problems that that some of us will have had to contend with. And I get it. I understand. Like, I understand being married. I understand complicated dynamics. I understand, you know, being in a weird place. You know, you have Lala, who's kind of in a weird place right now with Carmelo, with all that he's done. Mm-hmm. You have Jay-Z and Beyonce, who have finally put it out there between Lemonade and Jay-Z putting out 444. You have all of these examples in front of you, and these women don't look stupid. And the reason they don't look stupid, look at Jay-Z had to come hard. Okay, Jay-Z, him putting out an album, I'm sure, is not even a 16th of the work that he had to do in order to prove himself to Beyonce, in order for him to come back from his bullshit to Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? And it's well within her right as his wife to come back. But I'm sure she wasn't out here talking about, you still my king, even though you know, sleeping with the Beckys. She damn sure ain't posting it. You know what I'm saying? It's about knowing what you deserve and making sure that people live up to the responsibility that they want to claim. If he wants to claim himself as your king and claim himself as your big daddy and whatever else, then he needs to be showing the actions behind that. But he's not doing that. He told you that you are a problem for him, but he still gets to be your king. You need to go to therapy.
I just wish that we would just do a little bit better. And I mean, I don't know. I ain't even nobody for real, but I honestly know that there are people who watch me and look to me as a role model or an example. I ain't even nobody, like, legit. Like, I ain't even nobody for real. But I'm just saying, I'm conscious of the fact that the things that I do, people observe. Yes. And may or may not use that information to help them make decisions in their own lives. And I'm not talking about on the internet or on no national scale. I'm talking about the students who I interact with at work. I'm talking about people who you know, young girls at the church. Like, I acknowledge that there's a responsibility that comes with me being me. And it just makes me sad that people who have such big influential platforms and have access to people in such a broad way are so reckless with their lives. And I'm not saying that they're entitled to kind of live life and figure things out and get things wrong. That's not what I'm saying. Because I mean, I've really tried to be quiet and keep my mouth off this whole situation. You will notice that we have never on this show. We didn't even really talk about when the episode aired and T.I. gave Tiny that car and basically said, I don't really want to be with you, but I'll ride for you forever. Like, we didn't talk about that. We didn't. We could have, but we didn't, because I'm trying to be respectful of their family, respectful of this very difficult time in the lives of them and their children. And I try to keep my mouth full, and I don't know all the details, but I just feel like this is blatant, outright. Like, this is crazy. This is crazy on such a flamboyant, extravagant level that I could not keep my mouth shut.
Nah.
Especially when you out here using words wrong. Because I take personal offense to that, because I know what supersede means. I know what fidelity means. And you can't be out here just using words any way you want to use them and thinking that it's all right.
I could even look over his like flagrant improper use of punctuation and just the general like grammar. You know what I'm saying? Just, I could probably look over all of that, all of his, lack of space, lack of punctuation, lack of everything, extra things. I could look over all of that if what you said wasn't some bullshit.
Indeed. I just feel like you have to.
But you're stupid and you're stupid. And it makes me sad.
It makes me sad. It makes me very sad. And I just, for all of those who might be listening and who would pay me any mind, I just want you to know that if you actually would like a relationship and where your partner is required to respect you and treat you like he gives a damn or she gives a damn, then you deserve that. That's not something that's asking for too much. That's not a stretch. That's asking for somebody to value you and respect you and to not have you out here looking a fool. I don't think that's too much to ask.
Nope.
And I don't think, if that's not something that you're willing to tolerate, you don't have to tolerate it. That's really the bottom line of all I wanted to say. Don't feel like you got to tolerate this nonsense for niggas who don't give a damn about you. That's like, and niggas will show you. They say a lot of things, as we've seen here. They will say things, but their behavior is really what you not got to pay attention to. Because niggas will lie to you. They will tell you that they love you and continue to treat you like a side piece. Like,
or they cannot lie to you. T.I. didn't lie. T.I. came out with it. He was like,
exactly. But
stop.
Girl. I don't know. I don't know. If you take anything away from us talking about this nonsense, you don't have to tolerate niggas treating you any old kind of way. And you don't. It's fine. I promise. I promise. But if you content and you good, hey, have at it, live your life, prosper. But I'm saying, if it's a problem for you, you don't got to take it.
Hebe Oshanda, hey. Moving right along.
What? Unknown tongue. You better go ahead.
My sis is popping right now, like.
This week we have a shout out to my sis and a shout out to my brother.
Yeah.
We're going to shout out plantedorganics.com. Chef Royce, I think this is Souvenir, has come out with a handcrafted, no salt, vegan, gluten, and preservative free salad dressing line. He sent me a sample of 4 different dressings and marinades.
Oh, did he?
Cayenne mango.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Raspberry oregano. Watermelon basil. And coconut ginger. And let me tell you all, they are everything. I have used them as dressings. I have used them as marinades on fish and chicken. So delicious. You can check them out at plantedorganics.com. He puts an expiration date on the bottle. Very organized, very professional, super professional with the packaging. So I definitely want to shout him out and tell you all to check out plantedorganics.com.
Plantedorganics.com. We'll put the information in the description box. But before we move on to the next shout out, sis, can you just remind me of this young man's name very quickly?
Chef Roy Souvenir.
Chef Roy Souvenir. Chef Roy, could you please sit down in my office for just 1 minute? I have a question for you, Chef Roy. I think it's fascinating that Jade received samples of your salad dressings and marinades, and I did not. I would have you to know that I too enjoy salads. I too enjoy marinating my proteins so that they would be magically delicious. And I just feel slightly, I feel slighted, to be honest. I feel quite slighted that I did not receive a sample of your very tasty marinades and salad dressing. So if we could discuss that, I would very much appreciate it.
Look at the packaging.
I don't want to see the packaging because I didn't receive any of the packaging, myself, Chef Roy. Okay. So can we have a conversation about that at some point? My contact information, you can find me on Twitter. My DMs are open and available to you if you would like to let me know why I did not receive a sample, but Jade did. I know that Jade is a chef. I might not be a professional cook, but I too enjoy cooking and I enjoy food that tastes good. You know what I'm saying? I just would like to know, if it's not too much trouble, Chef Roy Souvenir, if you would just let me know why I did not receive the samples like Jay did. Okay?
You did all but put your location in the tweet.
I just would like to know. I would like to know because there are two hosts getting grown. Getting grown with Jade and Keia. Getting grown with Jade and Keia. Even though Jade is the cook, Keia likes to cook as well. I just feel like I felt slighted. I would like to know why I didn't receive any samples. Okay. But y'all be sure to go on over to the little website and get your salad dressings because Jay says they taste good. I don't know.
But when you come back and visit, I'll make you some salad and a protein. I'll use 2 of the marinades and salad dressings. They are definitely marketed as salad dressings, so let me stop. But I like to use them as marinades. I like to put them on my proteins. They're great for fish. They're great for chicken. They're great for chicken wings. And then because they're salt free, you are able to monitor the seasoning that you want to do in whatever you have going on. So while my sister's over here pursing her lips and making the angry black lady face, I just want to let you all know to check out plantedorganics.com and check out Chef Roy. Chef Roy, please send her some damn salad dressing so she can fix her face.
I just want to know why I didn't get no salad dressing. That's all. I just had a question. It's just one question. If I could get the answer to that, I might feel better. That's all.
If I had one wish.
Not Ray J.
Like some salad dressing. We have a shout out to my sis.
We do.
Bring it on.
The next shout out to my sis was sent to us by Mr. Victor Jackson, also known as at Mr. Glamrock Soul. Victor writes, "Hey, Jade and Keia. My boyfriend put me onto the show when we started dating and I'm obsessed. Hey boo. Hey you and boyfriend. How y'all doing? I turned 32 at the end of the month and your podcast assures me that I'm not alone on a weekly basis. So thank you. Thank you, Victor. I'm writing in about my little sister, Aisha Jackson, who was recently cast as the standby for Anna in Frozen the musical. Historically, Toni Braxton has been the only black woman to play a traditionally white Disney princess on a Broadway stage, but because she was already mother, nobody gave her grief. Don't do Toni like that. However, my sister called me in tears yesterday because of the hate that she's been seeing on social media towards herself and other African-American cast members. I didn't believe it was that severe until I saw that Media Takeout wrote a story about it this week. While we were on the phone, I encouraged her that God has given her this assignment to change history and break stereotypes for generations to come. I'm keeping her lifted in my thoughts and prayers, but I would love if you all could join me in helping to surround her with a community of love and light during this process. Aisha's Twitter is at starring Aisha. That's StarringAisha. And her Her Instagram is @gifted2sing, GIFTED 2 sing. She is the sweetest person I know, so it hurts my heart to see her in distress about this, but I know purpose will prevail in the end. Victor also sent us a video of her performing Ragtime on Ellis Island, and let me tell you something. She sung her face.
She sure did.
So Aisha, girl, let me tell you something about these white people. They are going to continue to be upset. But what I want you to do is go out here and be the best goddamn honor. You know how to be. I want you to sing Frozen until the white folks start to lose nose hairs.
Frozen until it melts.
I want you to sing Frozen until all their faces crack just like the movie Frozen. Okay, since I want you to get out here and show your booty. I want you to sing until the people can't take and they're gagging in the aisles of the theater.
I want you to sing until they look like a melted pool of vanilla ice cream.
Okay, and what I want you to do is I want you to crack your knuckles and begin to throw shade right back at them fools who are jumping in your mentions with their hatery and disdain. Because what they will continue to be is mad, sis. Especially when you out here honoring on Broadway and they can't take it because you're sickening, sickening, sis. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I want y'all to go to Aisha's Twitter and Instagram.
Aisha.
Exactly. And I want y'all to just encourage her. And I want y'all to let her know that getting grown is listen, we just waiting. We sitting on the ready waiting for her to let us know. Because what we will do is we will continue to drag these people who have attempted to drag her. I want her to focus on her good singing. And I want her to do her good singing in this show because she is everything.
Sing it down. Don't let them distract you. And I want to tell you something, Aisha. I have a 4-year-old daughter who I buy black dolls for her because I want her to know that that's what she needs to be having. You know what I'm saying? I want her to be represented. I want her to feel good about who she is. So in addition to us talking to her, we buy her black dolls. And the other day, she says to me, I wish Rapunzel was black. And I said, why? You know, even though I'm glad she said that. And she's like, because I'm black. I'm a black girl. I have black dolls. I want Rapunzel to be black like me. I said, well, then we can make Rapunzel black like you. She gonna have a fro down to the ground. Like, we can make Rapunzel black just like you. And so and Frozen is that's her jam. You know what I'm saying? Let it go. So I want you to know that you do have little black girls out here who look up to people like you. And so the disgusting people that you have in your mentions, the disgusting people that you have in the comment section, pay them no mind. They still buy their milk from Family Dollar. Okay. They don't mean anything to anybody. They serve no purpose in society, but what you're doing is serving a huge purpose, even more than what you realize. And so I want you to be encouraged. I want you to know that there are people out here who are rooting for you and cheering for you. And there are people out here who love the fact that you are representing something. And to all you idiots who said that it's appropriation, first of all, you don't have no culture. Let's be clear. And fucking animation and fictional characters is not culture. Yeah, black people can go into a Frozen mind too, and whatever else the hell goes on in that goddamn movie and whatever they do on that fucking Broadway show. But guess what she's gonna do? She's gonna sing her ass off, and you all can just be mad about it and keep buying stale cereal from the Dollar General because nobody cares about you or what you think.
Do you want to build a snowman? Shout out.
Well, do you?
Okay.
Shit.
Shout out to Aisha. Shout out to Aisha, who was cast as standby for the role of Anna. There are also other African American actors who've been cast to star in the show. Shout out to Jelani Aladdin, who's been cast as Kristoff.
Yes.
And shout out to James Brown III, Donald Jones Jr., and Nicholas Ward. They are also African American people who've been cast in the show, who've been getting all kinds of hate and foolishness in their mentions on their social media from white people being upset because white people like to be upset about things that they have stolen. So, listen, I want y'all to I want y'all to go ahead to Broadway, Frozen on Broadway. I want y'all to act your faces off and just be as flawless as you naturally are. And they'll continue to gag. Don't let them steal your light. Don't let them steal your shine. The cold never bothered us anyway. Okay?
They don't even have electricity. Moving right along.
Do you want to build a snowman? That's like my favorite song in Frozen. I know the girls go up for Let It Go, but I stand for Do You Want to Build? Sis, you fell apart. You all right? Yeah.
That literally took me out. That was a hearty from the stomach laugh.
It's time to gather around the kitchen table once again. I hope you have your snacks and your beverages because we're going to talk about stress. I'm already stressed. We've had the first half of the show has stressed me out to an extreme extent. So I'm very glad that we're talking about this. As we navigate being 30 something or just being an adult, we're constantly bombarded with things, unexpected things that can stress you out. So it's important, especially as African-American people of color, like we're just constantly assaulted with things that will steal your joy and your peace of mind. And that right there will definitely wear on your body. So I wanted to talk about developing a process to get back to your peace of mind. Yeah, we have to have a process. When we stressed out, it's really easy to just allow the stress to just take us over. But you have, I think it's important that you have conscious things that you can do to get yourself outside of the stress and get yourself back to peace. Because when you're stressed out, you're not functioning, you're not thinking, and you're wasting time and money, which is what the devil wants you to do. But that's not, but we don't have time for his old ashy butt. So we have to think critically about what we're doing and how we can change our behavior to continue to be productive as we work toward whatever our purpose is in life. So sis, when you're stressed out, do you have things that you do that can kind of get you out of that place where you just like spiraling into stress?
Yeah, I especially lately, because I've really been trying to focus on making sure that I manage my stress when I deal. Because again, I've spoken about this before, you know, just in the food business in general, that's a very stressful business. It's a time sensitive business. It's, you know, you have to be temperature sensitive. You have to make sure your food is at a proper temperature. You're not getting people sick. And at the same time, it all tastes good and that it's where it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And you have to make sure all of that is done simultaneously. So it's a very stressful industry to be in. Advertising is a very stressful industry to be in. Working with celebrities is a very stressful industry to be in. You know what I'm saying? And then dealing with a family and dealing with everyday life is stressful enough as it is. So I know before I would kind of have some freakouts to myself and, you know, it wasn't healthy for me. Stress can pull your hair out. Stress can make your skin break out. Stress can make you lose weight. Stress can make you gain weight. Stress can really take a toll on your health.
Yeah, stress is like terrible for your body. Like it wears down your organs. And it can actually shorten your lifespan. You know, those of us, you know, it could
weakens your immune system.
Yes, it affects your gluten intolerance, which can make you more susceptible to diabetes. It's really, although stress, you know, healthy levels of stress are great motivators and, you know, they kind of keep your adrenaline pumping. But when the stress starts to get excessive, that's when it really actually starts to wear and tear on your body. And like you said, it becomes really dangerous. So
I've tried to start to manage that by, you know, just stopping for a second. Mm-hmm. You always take a second to process what's going on because there's no point in you invalidating what's happening. Like there's a reason why you're stressed, but at the same time, you can't let it kill you or stop you from moving forward. Right. You drop an entire pan of curry when you're on your way to a party. You know what I'm saying? All I could do is just stop for a second. I freaked out for like a half a second. Then I said, let me clean this up. Let me clean myself up and be glad that the entire thing didn't spill.
Right.
And go from there. Because there's nothing I can do about it at this point. I can't make an entire pot of curry and I'm on my way out the door. All I can do is clean myself up and try to make sure that my floor is not yellow until eternity. And then from there, you know what I'm saying? Try to manage it. So I've started processing a little bit and then trying to just take the steps to move forward past the stress that I'm dealing with. If it's a financial issue, you know, knowing that I'll reflect back on other financial issues that I might have had in the past. And I'm like, all right, this is something that I can get past. I was able to get past the last one. It's stressful in this moment, but it's not going to last forever.
Right.
So those are just some of the small things that I'll do. I also de-stress myself when I come home from work in my own way. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly.
and that helps me to deal with everyday life as well.
I bet it does.
I talk to my friends. I talk it out. Sometimes I talk it out with myself. I've started to journal, but we'll get to some of those things. What do you do, sis, when you feel yourself starting to get stressed? Because you know you get stressed.
I do. It's like anybody who knows me knows that I get stressed. And I think one of the things is like the gift and the curse of being someone who is a thinker, is that your imagination and the things that you love about your mind and how it can be so creative and just kind of have all these fantastic ideas can also be the thing that, that you sometimes hate about yourself, because it does not take long for my mind to go from 0 to worst case scenario. And and the problem is it takes me a lot longer to come out of that place than it takes me to get there. So like you said, stopping and trying to, just stop hitting the don't panic button. Right. It's like everything in my body like stands up straight, especially when the stress gets to a certain level. Like I'm tense, I'm sweating, my heart is beating fast. Like I'm actually having a physical response to the stress. And I have the tendency to hold it in, but I'm learning that I need to take the time to stop, settle myself down. And what has been most helpful to me is talking to my friends about it, and not just kind of like venting and vomiting and letting it all out, but seeking out people who I know are going to help and turn my perspective in the right direction. You have friends who will sit with you and be like, dang, that sucks. And y'all just sitting in the sucky place together. Then you have friends who will be like, okay, I hear you. This is scary. Now let's think through how we can get us out of this place. Given your stress and your anxiety a deadline, and saying like, okay, we're gonna cry about this for the next 3 minutes, and then we're gonna turn our face toward thinking, okay, how can we get out of this? Someone who's gonna encourage you and remind you of the things that you already know. Because as a Christian, for me, a lot of times when I get really stressed out, the things that stressing me out is a lot louder in my mind than the stuff that I know. And literally trying to convince me and talk me out of what I know to be true. So I have, my friends reaching out to my friends to be like, now, Keia, like, I know that you're stressed out about this bill, but God promised that he will supply all your needs. I know that the doctor said this, but you have healing, you're well. And, just people who will seeking out having conversations with people who will help you out of your stress instead of sitting in the stress with you. So those are like my first 2 steps to get back on a process to peace. Like you said, journaling and writing it all out is also another thing that I do to just kind of get all the things that are swirling around in my head out on paper. And a lot of times when I do that, I can read it back and see like, oh girl, you're really making this a thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times your stress will have you in a place when you're worried about things that may or may not ever happen. You're not even seeing clearly or rationally. And it's like, well, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's just deal with the facts that we know about this situation right now. So those are the 3 main things. Stopping, getting myself at a place where I'm stopping and putting a deadline on the stress. Like, this is it. We're going to be stressed out. Then secondly, talking to someone who I know is going to help encourage me and bring me and turn me and get my thinking back on the right place. And then journaling and get it all out, so that I can have the information that I need to strategize and move forward.
Right.
Yeah, man. So we looked up a couple of, there's a lot of resources on the internet about stress management, especially as it relates to people of color, women of color specifically.
And it can also apply to the men of color, because all of you have to deal with a woman of color.
In some way, right? Like in some way,
form of fashion.
Shape, form, or fashion.
Your mama's black. Anyway, there's an article here that Keia found at developmentforafrica.org. Black women stress, its effects, and our responses to it. We'll make sure that we put the link in the description box. But it gives the definition of stress. It gives some of the effects of stress, but then it goes into helping to find conclusions, finding competent self-management of stress. So it's a really good article that helps you to break down how to identify your stress and how it affects you, and then how to respond to it and how we respond to it.
DiversityWomen.com also published some tips online as far as ways that African-American women can kind of de-stress themselves. The first one is get moving. Exercise is a natural stress buster. So a lot of times, you know, go for a run, go for a walk, try to get yourself out and moving, because that will kind of help to clear your head and bring your hormones and hormones back down to a place where you can kind of see things clearly and think about them. Another one is bliss out, setting aside some time for some relaxation, just clearing your head of things and doing something that makes you feel good, whether that be going out with one of your friends, calling up one of your good girlfriends that you know that y'all don't do nothing but ha kiki and laugh until your stomach hurts, doing that, eating something within moderation that makes you feel better, you know, just kind of just getting yourself to a place, doing something that makes you feel happy again, taking a hot shower. A hot shower is a refresh. It's one of my favorite things to do. A lot of times after I cry, if I have a moment where I'm real stressed out about something, I will just cry until I'm finished crying. I will take a shower. That's really like a restart to just kind of be like, woo, I got that out.
Snotty and crusty. You got to wash all that off for you.
Exactly. Another thing is keeping lists. So like we can sit down and kind of make a list of what you're after you've kind of processed your feelings, thinking critically and intentionally about what can I do to move forward from this place, making a to-do list, even if it's just making a to-do list to get your mind off of the stress. Because if it's something that's outside of your control, you know, get your mind off of the stress and get back to the things that you can control. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what can I do? Okay, that's what it is. What it is. I can't do anything about that right now, right here today. But what can I do that right now as far as keeping my productivity going? Because, you know, stress would have you sitting here and just being unproductive and just sitting in it, and while your life and your responsibilities continue to go on. So and
I'm telling you, as a person who I make lists, especially when I start to feel myself get overwhelmed, I'll stop and I'll say, all right, let me write out all the things I got to do, and I cross them off, and it helps me to manage my stress while I'm doing it, like physically writing out a list of the things that I have to do, no matter how small or big the task.
Yeah. Unplugging is a good one. And also being mindful of yourself and mindful of your triggers. I've been reading a lot about mindfulness and, you know, the power of having positive thinking and the negative effects of having toxic thoughts. So one of the things that I think is amazing about being a human being versus, you know, one of the things that are so cool about us being people and not being like, you know, dogs and cats is that we have the capacity to think about our thoughts. We can actually check our thoughts and train ourselves. It takes time, but we can train ourselves to weed out the negative thoughts and train ourselves to think positively. So sitting down and really thinking about, okay, what makes me feel this way? Why? Get into the root of things, and then thinking through and finding tools to kind of get to the bottom of what the problem is and figuring out how to address it. And that is oftentimes that process is oftentimes improved by talking to a professional. So again, we talked about this a lot, but there is nothing wrong. I know people try to stigmatize and make you feel like you're crazy for having a counselor or somebody to talk to. Girl, that they are a hater and they don't want you to shine. And so they are sick in the head. I mean, we have a lot of things to deal with in our lives, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with seeking out someone to help you find the tools to manage what you are dealing with. There's no shame in that whatsoever. Nope. So that's something that I'm working through myself, you know, especially grief is one thing, dealing with the loss of my brother, but dealing with grief in addition to dealing with life as it comes, is really something that can be quite overwhelming. And I have been putting off, keeping up with, speaking to a counselor on a regular basis, but that's something that I definitely need to get back on track with, because it just helps you. It's just so helpful. And I'm hoping that in the future we can, because I know that there are lots of, Keisha was telling me this week that there are a lot of new podcasts out that are specific to mental health and mental wellness for Black women and for persons of color, populations of color. So I'm hoping that we can kind of get into those and share some of those resources with you guys in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So that's it for stress and stress management. You got something else you want to share with the good folks, sis?
No, I want you guys to tell us some of the ways that you find yourself, not only identifying your stress, but how you manage it, because we all need to keep the conversation going. And if there are points and tips that you have to share, to all of our fellow listeners and everybody around, that can help people with their stress as well, then please, by all means, I want us all to keep it going.
Certainly. Indeed.
Muchas gracias to the folks at Form for sponsoring another episode of Gettin' Grown. Form is out here celebrating all of our queens in their hair journey by providing a consultation that helps you to choose the products that work for you. Your hair dry? They got it. Need a bomb-ass braid out? Get like me and get you some of the sculpted curl gel and twist styling cream and pomade and be out here flourishing. Love to flat iron? That's okay too. They got a heat protectant for you, girl. No longer do you have to wait for the pharmacy to post the BOGO on its Twitter, waste $2.75 on a MetroCard ride, or $1.76 worth of gas getting to the beauty supply store. That's right, they mail it right to you. All you have to do is walk to the mailbox. Start your Form consultation right now by going to formbeauty.com/grown. That's FORMbeauty.com/grown.
Honestly?
Truly. Honesty box time.
It's time for the honesty box.
Hey.
Honestly, truly. Honestly, truly.
Yes, make a song out of it.
Honestly, truly.
Honestly and truly.
Honestly,
and
truly.
honestly and truly.
Honestly,
and
truly.
honestly and truly. I love Joanne. Anyway.
Shout out to you, Joanne.
Hi,
We
Jade and
love you.
Keia.
Hey.
Yes, we shout you out. Brandon, Joanne, all of y'all.
We live.
Hi, Jade and Keia. I love you both, and your podcast has gotten me through several road trips and drives to work. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you. My dilemma is about my best friend. We became friends about 4 years ago. We worked together as teachers, lived close to each other in New York, and did everything together. After 2 years, I moved to LA for grad school. Right before I moved, she met her current boyfriend. That was difficult for me because, of course, she went through the honeymoon stage of her relationship, but this was right as I was about to move across the country and wanted to spend as much time with her as possible. This put a big strain on our friendship, but we eventually got past it. She came to visit me in LA and things were right back to how they always were. I currently live back in my hometown and she's still in New York. Our biggest issue is that we're so different personality-wise. I am what I've heard y'all refer to as a Pinterest friend. It's fine.
Woo.
I love the cutesy stuff. I'm the emotional one and love to talk on the phone and FaceTime. She's more of the chill, can text every once in a while and be fine, not interested in the emotions type. We balance each other out beforehand, but now it's causing a lot of friction. You add the long distance and the fact that she's now pregnant and it's gotten worse than ever. I'm wanting to FaceTime and see the baby bump, hear all the pregnancy details, and try to maintain the same friendship we had when we both lived in New York. She rarely wants to talk on the phone. She never has liked to talk on the phone. We'll go days without texting and gets annoyed when I'm frustrated by the lack of communication. She's come to visit me in my hometown, and I've been to New York a few times to visit and for her gender reveal. Things are great when we're together, but how do I deal with the communication aspect during the months in between our visits? How do you manage a friendship that has very different needs than you? I'm looking forward to hearing both of your perspectives and wish you both continued success. Thank you for writing in.
Oh, wow. You want to go first or me?
You go ahead, sis.
So, boom. I think that friendships, just like people, go through changes, like evolve. Yes. There are times when the communication is really high and heavy, and then there are times where it dies down. One of the major lessons that I have learned is that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm hearing is the logistics of her life right now just may not be conducive to y'all sitting up on the phone all the time. I don't think it's personal. I think the dynamics of your relationship have just changed and they're just not what they used to be. I think that if it's something that you voiced to her and she's not said, I don't get the sense that you guys are in a place where your friendship is over or you guys don't love each other anymore. I just think it's just a matter of, where she is in life. And if she's never been a phone person, long distance is not going to do anything to change that. I just don't want you to kind of, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that you should take it personally. I think you can voice to her that you're concerned and, you know, you just love her and you want to, you know, be there and support her. It makes you feel a certain kind of way. As long as you kind of make sure and check in that this is not because she's feeling some kind of way towards you about one thing or another, which I'm not getting that impression. But if you make sure that y'all are not in a bad place or this is not a result of some sort of issue or problem, then I wouldn't take it personally. It's just a matter of her being busy living her life. And, you know, she's dealing with a lot of changes and the friendship is just in a place where y'all don't communicate as much as you once did. And I would just try not to take it personally. Try to make sure that she knows that you're there for her and you want to talk to her. Continue to reach out when you get the urge, but don't take it personally when she can't talk to you for as long or can't talk to you at all. You know, you guys are older now and grown and about to be parents. So it's just like not, you know, the constant day to day, all day long texting and talking. It's just not something that is functional anymore. What do you think, sis?
Right. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm not saying this smugly or arrogantly, but when you become a wife and a mother and this is her first child, you are consumed. Like you have a lot going on. You've got doctor's appointments. I'm sure she has a job. You have to work. You have a spouse, to interact with and you guys are managing a household together. And then you've just got, you know, other aspects. And then on top of that, you all have the challenge of living in different places. I have a lot of friends that, we're long distance friends. I have one friend who I've had since I was 15 years old, and we went like a couple months without talking to each other. And it wasn't because there was any fallout. It was because we were both busy. She's a mother of 2. She has a job. She's going through things herself. I got my stuff going over here that I've talked to you all about. And so our times didn't match up. We weren't able to talk like that. Another thing you have to look at is, well, let me finish that. And so we didn't talk for long. And then we got on the phone one day and we just talked and we talked for a few days. And then I couldn't talk for like a week because I had a shit ton of stuff going on. Then we got back on the phone. I FaceTimed her baby. We had a day where we did that. And then that was that. You know what I'm saying? And it's no love lost when we have time in between where we're not able to talk. It just is what it is. We understand that our individual lives are very different, that we live in different places, that we lead different lives, and that when we can come together as friends, it's great. And then when we're separate, again, no love lost.
Right.
You also talk about a difference in personality, and that's something that you have to take into account with a friendship. Everybody doesn't operate and feel the same way that you do. And that's not a diss as to who you are as a person or you being more sensitive or more of the quote unquote Pinterest friend, like, and her being, you know, just more the more lax, more laid back one or whatever, the one who doesn't have to talk all the time. Like you guys have different personalities and you just have to respect that. You have to respect the fact that she may not communicate the way that you do or as much as you do, but that I don't think that means that she loves you any less. Cause I would hope that if you guys are friends to the degree that you're telling us, that she would tell you if there was a problem. And based off of the type of personality that you're saying she's had, it sounds like she would tell you like, you know, I don't like this or I don't like that. So you have to look at your difference of personalities. You have to look at your distance and you have to give her the space and the respect with the huge changes that are coming in her life right now. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that because when your time comes, when you experience different changes, you want her to give you that same respect.
Right.
You know?
Totally.
So we just always have to respect one another's different personalities. And that doesn't mean that you allow somebody to be a shitty friend. But I've had friends get upset at me like, you don't reach out to me, you don't do this, you don't do that. And you can address certain things. You know, sometimes maybe you can do better. Maybe certain friends can do better with reaching out. But you know, life gets in the way and we have to be mindful of that. And we have to sometimes try to take our emotions out of that because life happens. Like life happens every day, B. So you just gotta roll with the punches and know that if you guys have a bond and you have a friendship and you have love, rely on that. Know that when you talk, you're able to catch up on everything. And then there may be periods where you don't talk and it is what it is, but you're still friends and you still love one another. You'll still be there for the big moments. And just give her that space and that respect.
That's good, sis. Well said.
Thank you. I hope that was able to help you. I hope that, it gave you some perspective. I hope you didn't feel like it was an attack, because it's definitely not an attack on your personality or who you are as a person, or even on your current situation. It's just knowing that your friend has a different situation and her situation is changing. And you want to make sure that you're not adding extra stress to that by being consumed with yourself too much. Sometimes we have to take ourselves out of things, and we're all guilty of sometimes taking things too personally. So this is not just about you. This happens to the better of us, but we just have to learn how to check it.
Agreed.
And I want to be very responsible of the things I say to my sister, because everybody know I can be real petty. P-E to the T-T-Y, honey.
Petty peeves time. It's time for petty peeves. That's ugly. I'm going to read a petty peeve that was sent in to us by one of our listeners. And I selected this one because it definitely just so relatable, and it resonated with me in such a way because I share this petty peeve with her. She writes, "Greetings, ladies. I have a petty peeve I just have to get off my chest. Have either of you heard of misophonia? Simply stated, it is the hatred of specific sounds. For me, it's the sound of people chewing. I literally just had to take a deep breath writing this because the very thought of what I am about to type is raising my blood pressure. Can we all agree to just chew with our mouths closed? Is that really difficult? I cannot put into words how angry and instantly annoyed I get when I'm in the room with someone eating who insist upon sloshing food around in their mouths like a horse, or damn near lapping and slurping their beverages like a dog. I have a roommate who insists on entering my space with her meal and turning the TV down before she sits down to eat. It's like she knows it annoys me and wants me to hear every bit of her food slide down her throat. No, ma'am. Ew. It is to the point where I have to get up and leave the room. In conclusion, for the sake of my sanity and of all people who suffer from this ridiculous, very real condition, please just be cognizant of what your mouth is doing while you eat. Thank you so much, management." I share this, listen, because one of the things that if you ever want to see me cringe, just slurp your beverage in my presence. I'm getting anxious. Give me a second. Oh my God. And then you wonder why I treat you bad, because you do stuff like that. So,
that one's annoying, but
slurping.
This is not my petty peeve. Like, if I can just like piggyback off of you though, when you got a straw and there's no more drink left.
Oh God.
Stop sucking. I don't want to hear your straw suck the bottom of your glass. That is wild annoying. And if you're doing that passive aggressively to get the attention of your server, then you're a child. Sorry. That just reminded me of that, because it's almost the same sound.
It's so crazy. Especially like with hot beverages. Like my mom and my grandparents, like they slurp their tea sometimes, and I just be at the kitchen table stressed out. Woo.
I've been trying not to slurp my tea this entire time. I've had ginger tea.
Oh God, it just takes me to a place. Now I understand occasionally you get a little zealous and you're thirsty, so a sound or two, I can deal with that. But if it's like relentless, like every time you put the cup to your face, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. But yes, I thank you for submitting that. Misophonia is certainly a real condition, and I wish that those of you who actually slurp and chew loud and smack, I wish that you would acknowledge that and just be a bit more respectful.
Cognizant.
Yes, be respectful to those of us who might be dealing with this very, very real issue. Go ahead, sis. What's yours?
Cool. Mine comes from another listener, Brandy, who says, and you know, we have so many petty peeves about just
y'all
etiquette,
are petty. I love it though.
It sits in my spirit as well. I work in a hospital and I cannot stand when the elevator door opens and people are standing right in front of it as if nobody has to get off. Step back. You will get on this elevator before it closes. Let me out. Listen, we talk about this is so universal. Everybody takes an elevator. Everybody takes a lift, whatever you want to call it. This is also applied with the door, how the door works. Let me come out before you try to come in. Train doors. Let me get off before you get on. The bus. Stand to the side and let me get off before you get on. Get from in front of the entryway. I don't understand why people think that is okay. They are constantly on their phones. They do not have any awareness as to anybody else around them. And it includes them standing in front of the elevator. It is one of the things that irritates the life out of me. People who try to come in before you go out of the door also irritates the life out of me. I had a white boy in my building the other day because I have a bunch of millennials who work in my building who clearly have no parents. And I'm coming out the door and this nigga like brushes past to hurry up and walk in. I had to turn around. I was like, that's not how it works, buddy. It's not how it works. So this petty peeve really set in my spirit. Thank you, Brandy.
Yeah, man. And
thank you to everybody who wrote in last week, everybody who's continued to rate us and write us and like us 5 stars and all of that in between. Shout out to all of the listeners at Curl Fest yesterday who came up and spoke and said hello, and all of the ones who gave me their well wishes and their apologies about what happened at Noah's birthday. It made me laugh, but it also felt good because I was like, yeah, fuck them. So thank you all who came up and who said something. I'm sorry that I was racing around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I appreciate you all taking the time to say something. And give Keia your love as well.
Indeed. I appreciate it. I wasn't there, but y'all are so nice. Send me some salad dressing. I mean, it's only right. Can I have some salad dressing?
Please. Please. I'm never going to hear the end of it if you don't send her some
I just felt some kind of way. How you?
And I would send her some of my salad dressing, but you sent me 4 different kinds, and I definitely like all of them.
How you going to send her salad dressing and not send me none?
That's real. So don't y'all be sending Keia your college shirts and not sending me one too.
I don't know. I just feel like, well, I mean, if that's what we doing, then I guess he don't have to do nothing.
You can't put that on me. How you gonna put that on me?
No, I'm just saying. I felt slighted. But maybe that's just my bad, and I got to get over myself.
No, please, salad dressing for Keia campaign, #salad dressing for Keia, KEIA. That's right. Anyway, thank you for listening to another episode of Getting Grown. Make sure you check us out every Tuesday on iTunes, SoundCloud, all of the other platforms that we're on, Spotify. For all of you all asking again, for us to, get on other platforms. I don't have nothing to do with that, but I'll ask the network.
You're trying.
We try. We'll give them your request. We'll definitely put it in the box, but we don't have anything to do with that. So once again, thank you all for listening.
Yes.
And, continue to drink your water.
Moisturize and, mind your business. You have to stay moisturized because your black will in fact crack if it's dry. Okay.
Bye.